Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca if we have never met before, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. This is my first video that I'm filming in my new house, and I'm really excited to be filming finally and just doing some work and just having so much fun. It has been a long couple of weeks. I guess it's been like a week and a half that we've been in our new place, and it's been a lot of just trying to figure out where things are going to go and where I'm going to put all my plants. They are all currently in my sunroom, besides this plant right here and one over here, which needed a little bit more light. As I was doing my house hunting process, I kept seeing all of these photos of houses and imagining where my plants would go in all of these places, and it really inspired me to think a little bit deeper about where I put my plants and why I put my plants in certain places, because where you put your plants will really determine how healthy they are, how well they grow, and how long you have them. Because if you put the plant in the right place, it will be getting exactly what it needs and it will be so much happier. So with that being said, I'm being very mindful about where I put my plants in this new house. And just for reference, I have south and north windows, no east and west, which is very jarring for me. I used to have only east and west windows and I got really used to that. So now I'm having to do a lot of learning about these south windows. But like I was saying, when I was looking at houses, I kept seeing all these spaces and all of the possibilities for plants. So I thought that it would be a fun opportunity to sort of practice setting up a home with plants and show you guys how I would personally do that. And yeah, so I got some photos off of the internet. These are free stock photos. And I thought that these were probably the most realistic photos that I could find of homes. You know, I try not to get anything that looked like too designer, but you know, lived in or just empty in general. Before we get started, I wanted to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I will be sharing more about Skillshare in just a moment. So here we are in my first kitchen that I wanted to show you guys. I chose this kitchen because it is a very classic apartment kitchen. There's not a ton of space. It kind of reminds me of New York. You know, I've never been to New York, but I follow a lot of people from New York, so watching their videos, it kind of gives me that vibe. I have already pre-edited and removed the backgrounds of all of these plants right here. We have a Sansevieria or Dracaena, Hoya bovata, Scindapsus pictus exotica, Anthurium regale, Calathea or Bifolia, Raven zizi, Adansonii, Photonia, Hartley philodendron, and two different Hoyas. We have the Hoya Hindu rope and the Hoya Wyetii on a tray there. So lots of different types of plants with lots of different types of needs. So yeah, I thought those would be the good ones. And also I had a Monstera somewhere. There she is. Okay, so also the Monstera deliciosa is in the mix. So what I'm going to do is just decide what direction this window faces, and then I will from there kind of put all the plants in there. So I'm going to say that this kitchen is, let's go with north facing. I want to kind of start off with a bit of a challenge because I think that that's a good thing. I particularly don't love north facing windows. However, some people have found really great success with them. So north facing windows typically do have lower exposure. So you're going to want to go for something like a Calathea or a ZZ. Raven ZZ would be really cool actually. So I'm going to put this over here. And the fun thing about this is we can change the size of the plant. You can't do that in real life. So we're going to put that there just on the counter in that little corner over there. And, you know, ideally a plant person would not have this empty vase right there. So we might just cover that up in general. Let's just go with like a big Raven ZZ right here. We're going to make it a big one. Big and tall. Next thing that I think would work is a Hartley philodendron. We'll put it right here on the fridge. And my vision for this is for it to cascade off to the side of the fridge over here. So not on top of the door where it would obviously get crunched. But you could also do a pothos. Just basically what I'm going for here is a trailing plant that would just go right along there. So obviously with the north facing window, you don't have that many possibilities, but I think that these are both really great plants that would do well in a lower light condition. Well, you could do the Sansevieria somewhere, but I think that we don't want to load it up too much with plants. We don't want it to seem overcrowded. So let's move on to the second kitchen, which we will give a little bit better of light. I mean, based on this photo, it doesn't look like it has very good lighting, but we will give it a little bit of a better cardinal direction. So let's say that this is an east facing window, because east facing windows in the kitchen is kind of my jam. That is what I am accustomed to, so I feel like I could really load this up pretty well. So first off, we're going to do something that I did in my old apartment, the place I was living right before I moved here. So I'm going to just place these Hoyas right here so that they will be right below the sink. Hoyas need a lot of light. They'll do okay without a lot of light, but they will be much happier with light. So just a general suggestion for you guys, if you have Hoya or you want to be better at growing Hoya, I would suggest giving it a lot of light. They can take quite a lot. Honestly, I would probably put a shelf right here, like some sort of shelf, and then I would put some hanging plants, like some pothos. So let's make a little shelf. Awesome design work. Yeah, I'm gonna put some of these here just because I feel like that would be really cool to have like 3 pothos. And obviously these are standing in for the pothos because I don't have a photo of my pothos. I don't know why I didn't add that in. Actually, I think that would have been a better option. There we go. That is already a very planty kitchen, and dare I say we could add another one of these. We could technically put something like that over here, like cascading off of the refrigerator. Again, that might look messy to some people, so they might not want that. So let's take that out. But I will say, let me give you a little hot tip. I think that a Fittonia, everyone always wonders about Fittonia. If you wanted instead, you didn't want to do the Hoyas, if you wanted instead, you could put a Fittonia right here. And it would probably be really, really happy being so close to that water spout. And also with that ambient light, Fittonia can take a bit of light. So maybe we could even put the Fittonia off to the side over here and leave the Hoyas in there. That might be fun too, make them a little bit smaller of plants. So that's what I'm thinking. And then you could put the Fittonia here. You could really put a lot of plants on this island, but in the interest of other people living in your home, I think you probably shouldn't. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. You could also, very fun option here. You could take all of these and put them right there, hanging above that sink. Do you see where I'm going with this? That would be really fun. If you had like a bunch of hanging plants right here above the sink. That looks so bad, but yeah, you could set up like a little bar right there, or if you wanted to hang a macrame piece, you could do that and have something hanging in front of the window. I've seen people do that. That's really cute too. So just some ideas for you if your kitchen is sort of configured in this manner. I am going to suggest against putting plants over on this side unless you had some grow light capabilities. So if you do have grow light capabilities, it looks like around this corner over here, there might be like a corner. So you could hang some grow lights along here. Let's just play around and say that was something that was possible for you. So let's put some grow lights. Let's just fashion them underneath here. And our grow lights are going to be black, I guess, just because I don't want to change the color. It looks like there already is a lighting situation over there, which I guess is kind of common in like cooler kitchens. You could do that. So I would move the knife block because put it on this little part over here. And then underneath that grow light, let's stick some Adansonii. That might be fun. What else would do well? You could stick some Hoya down there. Let's just grab the rest of the plants that we have available to us and just stick them under here. Because like really when you have a grow light, you can put whatever you want. So just some ideas. I mean, if you do have a situation where you have one window on one side of the kitchen, which is usually the case, I tried to pick homes and photos that like look pretty typical. So at least for American homes, this obviously I've only lived in the US, so I only have perspective on homes that we have. This looks like a very planty kitchen. And since we have these hanging right here, maybe we could even put a Syndapsis on this shelf that we made, and then have some like fun kitchen stuff surrounding it, because those are pretty good with low light. I wouldn't say they'll be pushing out a ton of growth, but they do pretty well. So there is our second kitchen. I wanted to take a moment to talk about our sponsor today, which is Skillshare. If you aren't familiar with Skillshare, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative people like us. One of the classes that I've been taking, especially relevant right now and to this video in general, is the Style Your Space Creative Tips and Techniques for Interior Design by Emily Henderson, who is a stylist, author, and host. And she is so lovely. It's been so awesome to watch her class because I feel like I'm learning so much about interior design in general. I mean, this is really my first time ever doing real interior design in a home, and I feel like I know nothing. And I'm just really thankful for a community like Skillshare to help guide me through this. And also another class that I've taken that I really loved was Fun with Faces by Charlie Clements. I freaking love that class. It has really helped me to utilize my iPad and like Procreate and drawing and all that kind of stuff. So that's just another bonus class that I took like way earlier in quarantine when I was a little bit bored. So whether you're looking to fend off boredom, focus on self-care through creativity, or join a similarly creative community, Skillshare is the place to keep you learning. If you want to explore Skillshare with me, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box below will get a free trial of the Skillshare premium membership. And after the trial is over, it's only about $10 a month, which I think is a really great investment in yourself and an investment in your future and learning. And you know, I really love the concept of being a forever learner, and Skillshare has really helped me to be a forever learner. And let's get back into designing these rooms. Okay, so we're going to skip to living rooms because I want to get to all of the rooms I planned, and I think that we've kind of had it with kitchens. So this living room is very industrial, and I think that, you know, it's cold. It needs something. So what direction should we have this living room face? I'm feeling a west window, so I want this wall of windows to be west. It would make sense if it was west because it has that shade cloth. So west windows are one of the hottest windows. So south windows are really hot and west windows are getting up there as well. We already have this really awesome shelf above the TV, which is honestly like begging to have some hanging plants on it. So I'm thinking, like, obviously I have a small selection of plants here, but in an actual home you would have more options. But with that being said, I do love the idea of doing a bunch of hanging plants on here. I mean, that just looks like so much fun, and imagine them like trailing down and like around your TV. I think that is just absolutely lovely. So I honestly think that this section right here is just begging for like a big statement plant, and this Monstera is a big statement plant. So I think that a Monstera would be good here. Let's slide this over just for a second because I want to see this coffee table. I think that a Fittonia would do really well on that coffee table because it's lots of ambient light and they like that. They don't love direct light, but they can handle it, but they pretty much prefer ambient light. Okay, so we know that the Fittonia is back there. The Monstera is here. In the interest of not loading things up too much, I might also, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put another Monstera back here, but a little one. And that could really just take the place of like any upright plant. Okay, you know what? Actually, I think that this would be good here. It doesn't need that much light, but I think it would be happy. So let's just pretend like this is just like really a really tall one. And it's behind over here next to the couch. That's where I want that one to be. And then this Monstera is of course right here, but I don't want it to cover the plants behind it because obviously this is 2D, so we can't really see it. So just so we know, Monstera is going to be slid over, but it would normally be right here. Okay, so I think that that is a beautifully plantified room. Obviously, there's a lot you could do with the space because it is a big west window. If this is a patio area, you could very easily set up like a ton of cactus out there. Cactus would be pretty happy with western exposure. So I think that that settles it for this room. Let's move on to the next living room, which is empty. And I wanted to do this one because I feel like this one is like really, really classic living room. I mean, I feel like a lot of them look like this. I've had a living room that looked exactly like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the record and say that this is, I'm gonna say a south window. It's obviously winter, but just with the way that the light is hitting, whoa, what did we do? just with the way that the light is hitting, I'm gonna say it's a south window. This is what my south windows look like. So really, it's a little bit more difficult because there isn't furniture here. But you know what I would do actually? I would set up a bench right here, and honestly I would just put like a ton of cactus on it. So I don't have a photo of a cactus here, but what could we put in place? Gosh, I mean, cactus would do really well. If that's a south window, it's a huge south window. You could put, oh my gosh, wait. Imagine this, okay? So you put your couch right here, okay? Because you have your TV either on this wall or on this wall. And then you just have this beautiful bench behind your couch. And then, well, it's pulled like a little bit further from your couch so that when you lay back, you don't prick your head. And then you just have like a bunch of beautiful cactus. I'm going to put the Sansevieria here just to simulate whatever that would look like, because I think that would be so cool. I'm imagining, do you guys know Nicole? Well, you guys know Nicole, obviously. If you are a subscriber of my channel, you know who Nicole is. But I'm imagining her cactus bench. You know how she has that big cactus bench in her office? That's what I'm imagining. So just like a ton of cactus lining that would be so cool. Okay, and then the next thing that I'm picturing, if that's a south window, we can definitely get a monstera in the mix. So let's grab that monstera, a big one. I think that we could definitely do a big one, like right here. Let's flip this image so that it's facing this way. It would be really cool to have two plants on either side of the television, like just assuming that that's where they want the TV. I think that would be really cool to have two plants right there. And then, ooh, you know what would be really cool as well? I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but it would be so cool if there was like a shelf right here and then you just put a ton of hanging plants on it. You could probably put a Hoya, your Syndapsis. This is what I'm thinking. And again, these Sansevieria are supposed to be cactus and not Dracaena snake plants. So you've got some possibilities. You could definitely put your Fittonia on the coffee table. Again, that would be really happy, but there's no furniture, so it's kind of difficult to see how you'd set it up. But anyway, I could not find like a realistic bedroom for someone who is like single and just like living with roommates or something like that. I feel like that is the majority of people with plants. Like that was me before a year ago when I got married. Like I just had my bedroom and it did not look like this. My bedroom still does not look like this. I feel like bedrooms avoid east windows, although I've had a lot of east windows in bedrooms, but we're gonna say that these are west windows. Yeah, we're going to say that these are west windows because that is what I used to have in my bedroom and it was actually really nice. Okay, so it looks like they already have a plant situation going on, but with that being a west window, I'm just going to cover it with this Hoya. Okay, so definitely if it's a hanging plant, we want it to hang off to the other direction. So I'm just going to flip that so that it's off to this side. And this side would be my side so that I had to move the plant and not Daniel because he'd probably freak out. Yeah, there we go. This W is so big when I zoom in. That is just like the biggest W ever. I'm just going to put this W over this art piece so that we know. Okay, so honestly, I would put a Sansevieria, like maybe a taller one, on my bedside table. Daniel would absolutely not want that, so I'm just gonna give him this like dried goods. But gosh, what else could we do in here? There's so much. I mean, you could definitely load up more plants with this, but if we're being realistic, this might be it for me. Okay, but if we're dreaming, I would put a bench right here. Okay, I'd put a bench right there, like a little bit further away from the bed so you don't kick it. But again, 2D photo, it's a little bit difficult to really show what that would look like. I would put some like fun, taller plants. Have you guys ever seen like canopy beds perhaps? Like when people have, I think Carly G has a canopy bed and she has like hanging plants just like around. I think that's so much fun. So imagine just like some fun plants at the end of your bed. And like these plants could be fun ones that you like switch out. If I'm just going to be like, this is my room and I'm going to take over, I'm going to put another Sansevieria on his side of the bed so that it looks uniform. I really like that. Honestly, that feels like a tasteful amount of plants. Like I keep feeling like I'm not putting enough, but realistically, you don't want your home to feel like you have just stuff. And like from the Skillshare course, like that I mentioned earlier about like designing your home, like you want things to feel intentional and you don't want to like just put things to put things. Like you want to be intentional. So I think this is intentional. Perhaps these 3 plants at the end is a little bit much, but you know, it depends on how many plants you have, really. If you have an entire house to fill up, you've got plenty of space. And the last room that I wanted to talk about is the bathroom. So this is like, I feel like the quintessential bathroom. I feel like everyone's bathroom looks like this, or at least has a bathroom that looks like this. So not all of us are blessed with a shower window, which I was blessed with a shower window at my old apartment. Here, not so much. We do have a window above the toilet in the bathroom, but it's better than nothing. I'm gonna just like go big and call this an east window, because I freaking love an east window, because I feel like I could really do some stuff with that east window. So first of all, we're gonna put some Hoyas in the window, because Hoyas, like I said, love that light. They need it. They enjoy it. They thrive off of it. Here is where I had a Fittonia. Let's cover up this plant, whatever that is. It's fake. I had a Fittonia exactly in this spot in my old apartment. And it did so well. Seriously, one of the happiest plants I have. So what I did in my old house was I made a little, and I didn't make it, sorry. I purchased a little over the toilet storage unit, and I used that to put all of my like anthurium on. So let's just say you wanted anthurium. And so the bathroom is a really great place to put them, because they definitely will receive more humidity than not. So obviously putting something like this on here, you are kind of getting rid of all of that storage that this thing would offer. However, you might be able to take off the door of this thing and just put plants in it and have it be like an open shelving situation. But that's just an example of something that I did in my old apartment, and I really liked it. It made the bathroom feel like a jungle. Like, this bathroom has jungle vibes already. So I feel like that's all I would do in here, because you don't want it to feel like too much. However, you could put this Fittonia over here in that corner, and then get a small Calathea or Bifolia, or just a Calathea in general, and put it right there. That is what I'm thinking for this bathroom. I mean, we don't want it to be too full, but if we wanted, we could really go nuts with an over the toilet shelf. If you don't want that, that's totally cool. You could utilize this window and then your counter space, but you don't want to overload it, because clutter is not good. So, okay, you guys, that is going to be all of the rooms. We made it through all of them. I hope that this video is helpful for you to navigate through adding plants to your home and doing it well, because I really needed this. I needed to just like sit down and think about what plants do well where. I might actually get the photos of my home and do exactly this, so that I can start to move my plants out of the sunroom, because like I said, they're all in there still, and I'm just really nervous to do it. I've been procrastinating, so this video actually really helped me to feel like a little bit more confident in this, because it's not a big deal, you know? I mean, it is, but it isn't. You know, we want our plants to be happy, and where you put them in your home will really determine how happy they are, but it's not as scary as I hype it up to be. Interior design is definitely not a strong suit of mine, but I am learning, so I hope that you enjoy learning along with me. And of course, don't forget to check the link in the description box to access your free trial of Skillshare Premium. And I will see you guys in the next video, where I organize all of my plants. I showed you how I cleaned all of them, and just a little bit more about the move. I'm probably also going to share some good and bad things that happened in the move, what I would change, just a bunch of stuff like that. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.